can't tell me that you're watching and understanding dramas with subtitles in Korean when after that I see you post a video on how you study Korean in which you're using a beginner's level textbook in which you're practicing how to write words like koki. Hi, I have opinions and I want to share them. I also feel like ranting about a lot of stuff surrounding the language learning community and also a little studygram community. So if you're not interested in hearing me rant for the next foreseeable minutes, go watch another one of my videos. Before I get started, I want to take the time to give a disclaimer. I'm not targeting anyone in specific during this entire video. I'm merely illustrating things that I've observed over the past few years within the community. I've tried recording this video twice before. The first one without a script and it was awful. The second one with a script and it was also awful. So this time I'm just gonna rant. Like I'm ranting to a friend if you're into this. If you're not, once again, too bad because this is what we're doing. And I'm just gonna get into it because I don't know how to segue nicely into the first point. So first point, I'm extremely annoyed that you don't get any recognition for learning a single language. There seemed to be this thing where if you're learning only one language, you don't deserve attention. What annoys me the most is that on YouTube especially, it feels like you need to be learning 3 to 4 languages at once to be able to get any type of traction as a small YouTuber, which like I get that when you're a small YouTuber, people don't come to watch your channel. Like, why would they go watch your channel when they can go to someone who's bigger? If you look at any Goals 2021 video made by language learners in this community, you can see that anyone who's made a video with like 3 to 4 to 5 languages within the title got so much traction compared to those with only one language. I get that we're into idolizing overachievers. I don't know, to me I'm more impressed when someone is able to reach fluency in one language than upper beginner level in 5 languages at once. Maybe that's just because that's what I want to learn. I'm not interested in being able to say hi in 10 languages. I want to be able to be fluent in every single language that I learn. So maybe it's a personal preference. I don't know, but I find it very dumb that we put so much emphasis to the amount of language learned and not the level at which it is learned. I don't think that sentence made sense grammatically, but I don't remember what I said, so I can't fix it. Let's move on, shall we? My favorite point, the one that I've had in my mind for quite a long time now. I love that Korea is getting a lot of attention lately. It's a country that has a really nice culture. It has a lot of very interesting and sad history. And up until recently, it wasn't talked about that much. But we need to stop idolizing a language. And we need to stop using it as a trend. And this doesn't apply to Korean exclusively. It's the same thing with pretty much every Eastern Asian language at the moment. Both Arabic and Mandarin Chinese are considered level 5 languages from a native English speaker's perspective. Yet, someone who's claiming to be learning Mandarin Chinese is gonna be receiving more attention and praise than someone who's learning Arabic. Why is this? Please tell me. I get that there's a lot of appreciation for East Asian culture lately, but can we please not reduce these languages to a trend? The amount of times that I've seen language learners post videos or vlogs mentioning they're learning Korean or that they're watching dramas or that they're listening to K-pop in their titles when the video barely covered that. It was mostly about other stuff, or they're gonna be mentioning they're learning 5 languages and the only ones they're gonna specify in the title is like Korean, Mandarin Chinese, Japanese, and the like. But then they're also learning Spanish. Why are they mentioning Spanish? I don't know. Because it's not as trendy? This is wrong. Tying into my previous point, we're all very impressed when someone is learning more than one language at once. So let's say someone's learning 5 languages. Let's say French, Italian, Portuguese, German, and Swedish. And you put it against someone who's learning Mandarin Chinese, Japanese, Thai, Korean, and Vietnamese. I can guarantee you that had these people had both the same stats on their YouTube channels, the one learning the Eastern Asian languages would get more traction because they're trendy right now. And once again, I'm very happy that these cultures are getting the recognition they're getting. I don't like the fetishizing of these languages, if that makes sense. I'm gonna move on because I don't want to dig myself a bigger hole than I already have. Picking your next target language according to what's trendy rather than what you're actually interested in learning. Do I have to say anything else? Please don't start learning Korean just because you're seeing everybody blow up when they mention that they're learning Korean. Instead, pick something you're interested in, because I can promise you're gonna suffer if you're learning something just for the sake of the trend. Next point. Pretending to be better in your target language than you actually are. I get why it might be tempting to do that, because a lot of people are impressed with high-level skills in a foreign language. I mean, I personally started to follow Hoju Sara because she vlogged in Korean, and as someone who was learning Korean, it kind of gave me the feeling of, yes, it is possible to be fluent. And every single time she uploads, I'm reminded of that fact. Now, what I've noticed, and I've had a few encounters of the like, is that a lot of people claim to be more fluent than they are. And the problem with that is that you're basically selling a false idea to your subscribers slash followers. No matter the method of learning you're using, as you reach a certain point in your language learning journey, people start to copy you a little and to get inspiration from your learning methods, which is great. Like, this is the essence of the learning community. But if you're pretending you're more advanced than you actually are, your subscribers are going to try to do your methods and not get the results that they're expecting to get, which is a very misleading. But the worst part isn't this. The worst part is my following point. When people are inconsistent with their pretending, which I found to be mostly true when they're getting sponsored for a product. I'm gonna base this around Korean because this is what I have experience with, and this is what I've actually observed on YouTube. I've had interactions with people telling me after watching my videos that they also do enjoy watching dramas with Korean subtitles or without any subtitles at all, and that they can also understand most of what's going on. That's great, and I'm very happy for them. However, why is it that a few days later you upload a video in which you are learning basic vocabulary like pants or meat? You can't tell me that you're watching and understanding dramas with subtitles in Korean when after that I see you post a video on how you study Korean in which you're using a beginner's level textbook in which you're practicing how to write words like koki, or when you show off using a set of 200 flashcards that contain very elementary words. There's an inconsistency over there, because if you're actually using that set of flashcards, there is no way you can actually understand a drama without subtitles. There's an inconsistency there, which is bad no matter which way you look at it, because either you're advanced and you're lying to your subscribers about the resource you're using, meaning that you're generating sales and money out of people buying that resource thinking they can get to your level using that resource, or you're actually a beginner and are actually using the resource, but you're lying to everybody else by saying that you're able to understand dramas and that if they buy that same resource that you're using, they'll be able to understand dramas. I really can't tell which one is worse, but both of them piss me off. Editing I have here, I forgot to mention what pisses me off about this. What pisses me off about this is that they most likely have an affiliate link to the resource. And so they're gonna put it in their description box and mention that they do have a link for it. And so their subscribers are gonna go on the website, buy the resource, make the money to the creator based on a lie. I'm not saying the resource is bad. By all means, like, the resource itself could be very good, but the creator is giving their subscribers a false sense of progress and of what they can actually accomplish with the resource, which I find completely disgusting. There is a huge difference between someone pretending to be more advanced than they are to sell a book, or doing it the other way around, than someone who is advanced and reviewing a beginner's resource and then deciding if it's a good enough resource for other people to use as beginners. The latter is perfectly fine in my opinion. Of course, you don't get to experience it as a beginner, so there's a little bias there. But as someone who knows and had to learn the language, you can kind of have an idea of whether or not that resource would have helped you and whether or not the progress you would have made with this book would be enough to be worth the cost of it. There are two different things, and I'm only ranting about the former. This brings me back to my last point of contempt, and the last thing that I absolutely want to rant about. And this one is a complaint about studygram / language learning community. The specific example that I have in my head is like a mix of both, but I'm sure there are plenty others. If you're trying to pretend that you're more advanced than you actually are, please try to make your posts being consistent with that. Once again, I find it very hard to believe that you're actually able to enjoy content without English subtitles when I see you posting lists of vocabulary including words like coffee and pants and water. Writing words over and over again does work for some people, but please explain to me why you'd be learning these words specifically if you're actually able to understand a drama without subtitles. Wait, actually I lied. This one is the thing that pisses me off the most. Here's the thing, I'm not angry about the fact that that person is posting pictures of their very simplistic notes or of their vocab list. What I'm annoyed about is the fact that they are making some posts in which they are specifically talking and showing them watching stuff in Korean with Korean subtitles, and then using that same beginner resource or these same pages of notes filled with words like coffee. And I just hate the fact that some people are gonna purchase these beginners book hoping and expecting to get the same results that original poster got. And so that original poster is making a commission every time someone buys a book from their links. Very unethical. And it pisses me off to no end, because that follower who purchased this book with the hope of getting to that level is gonna be so disappointed when they realize that it's not gonna bring them to the level they need to be able to understand the genre. Anyways, that's gonna be all for today's video. I think I ranted a lot. You don't know it, but I've been ranting about this for like a good 3 hours now. I hope you enjoyed this rant video. Please share with me your opinions down below. I would love to know. I'm genuinely curious in knowing whether you agree with me or you think I'm wrong, and what's your opinion on the whole situation. So leave your comment down below. I'll answer them all, I promise. But anyways, if you did enjoy, don't forget to subscribe, leave a like, and I'll see you all next week in the next video. Bye.